Money is one form of power, but what is more powerful is financial education. Money comes and goes, but if you have the education about how money works, you gain power over it and can begin building wealth. The real positive thinking alone does not work. The real positive thinking alone does not work. Is because most people went to school and never learned how money works. So they spend their lives working for money. You know, I put a quote in there, and I'll pop this in here again, just so that we can see this here. 90% of all millionaires become so through owning real estate. More money has been made in real estate than in all industrial investments combined. The wise young man or wage earner of today invests his money in real estate. Do you guys believe that? Put it in the chat. This is something that has been pounded into my head for years and years and years, especially since reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But remember, that quote was from 1920s. Okay, 1920s. Arizona had just become a state in 1912. You know what I'm saying? So is that still the truth, or are more millionaires made in business now? That's really the question that we have to ask ourselves. And I've been thinking about this a lot on this special 3rd of July show that we have here on the Brent Daniels live show, all about cash flow, all about getting out of the rat race. That's the number one question that I get. That's the number one goal I have when people are onboarded into the Rhino Tribe. That's my coaching and mentorship program. I have a conversation with them as to what is the end goal. And usually the end goal is to own a lot of cash flowing rentals, a lot of cash flowing assets, so to speak. And what we initially think is like Monopoly, right? We're programmed for this, that you get 4 greenhouses and then a red hotel, right? And it's phenomenal and it's a great strategy. But there's some things about that strategy that we don't really understand, because in Monopoly, we're buying those properties cash. In real life, we're buying those properties typically leveraged, typically what people call good debt. But I want to break down some things here just to warm up the show, guys. This is a question and answer show. I'll go as long as you guys want to go today. I am wide open today. My wife's running around with Bo. Seamus is at his summer school. I've got the 4th of July is tomorrow, and then I go to Hawaii for a week. So this is wide open. So make sure that you put in your questions here, because I want to make sure that you go into this holiday with all of the mysteries been dispelled. Any questions that you have about this business, I want to make sure that you get those answered today, so that you can go out there and confidently take massive imperfect action. Remember, at the end of the day, the seed of all of this, the seed of being a real estate entrepreneur, comes down to having conversations and making offers. That's it. That's really all it comes down to. When it comes to sourcing the absolute best of the deals, the deal of a lifetime comes around once a week. That's a quote by this incredible author and friend of mine, Dolph DeRoos. He lives down the street here from us. And he's absolutely right. The deal of a lifetime comes around once a week. But if we're not having conversations and we're not making offers, none of that happens. So let's let that be the foundation of what we build everything else off of. But I want to look at, I'm going to go to the board here in just a second. I really want to break down the logistics of a rental property and just give you kind of my theory, my strategy of what I'm implementing in my life, in my business, in my plans for long-term wealth building. And then you guys can put in the comment section your thoughts on it. It flies in the face of conventional wisdom when it comes to real estate investing, but I think it's because I got really shook in 2008. I saw that values went down dramatically. I saw that equity is nothing. Equity is fake. It's fugazi. It's pixie dust, as they say in Wolf of Wall Street, right? It's all fake. It could be gone in a second. It's all determined by ready, willing, and able buyers. And if there's no buyers, then there's no equity. And that's something fundamentally that we have to understand about real estate. is when we get debt stays, equity goes. Right? Equity ebbs and flows. And if you look at this, I pulled up this, which is really interesting when it comes to the appreciation throughout the country over the last 30 years, just over 30 years. This is 33 years. You can see which areas have appreciated the most, ranked. And I would highly suggest that if you are going to be buying rentals, buy areas that are going to appreciate. I don't care about the cash flow, and I'll explain why here in a second, but go after areas that are going to appreciate, because real estate investing really comes down to appreciation, really comes down to an asset that is going to grow and protect you as the value of dollars go down, as inflation goes up, the value of properties also go up, and they go up faster so that you're really protected, so that you can keep your wealth. Right? When we get income coming in, we have a couple different choices, right? We have three choices. We can spend it, we can save it, or we can invest it. And the more that we put into investing, the more that we can build wealth. And the more that we build wealth, the more financial independence and financial intelligence we have. And the more of that we have, the more that we can pass it on to the people that we know and love and are around us, whether that be friends, whether that be family members, whether that be peers, whatever it is, right? But really, 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 I think another fundamental point about real estate investing and being a real estate entrepreneur is investing in assets that will appreciate. Now, we do a great job, you and I, of going out and finding discounted properties. So we already have a unique advantage. But let's look at the actual numbers here. And I'm going to show you this before I jump on the, let me share this real quick. I'm going to share this screen, and I'm going to go to the window. I'm going to go home appreciation. No, right here. Average costs, share. Boom. There you go. This is really interesting. The average cost to replace a tenant when they leave is $4,000. Now, typically, an average tenant's going to stay about 2 years. So you can figure it costs about $2,000 a year just for replacement costs. And they kind of break it down. It's really interesting here. They break it down as to why that is the cost. And it is breakdown of vacancy. So you have to pay your mortgage still. You have to fix up the property, the carpet and paint, that type of thing. You have to pay to get it leased, which is typically a leasing agent or property manager, real estate agent is going to pay that. But remember that number, $4,000 every time a tenant leaves. All right. Now I want you to look at this number here, which is very interesting as well. Boom. Average cost. If you just type this in, average cost for upkeep on a single family property is between 1 and 4% of the home's value. That's $2,000 to $8,000 every year. $2,000 to $8,000 every single year. All right. So let's take a look at this on the board. Right. Let's move over here. Do I have a marker, Matt? I don't have a marker. Okay. We will get a marker here in a second. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, we'll get a marker here and we'll get on the board and break down what's actually going on with single family rentals. Here you go. All right. So average cash flow. Let's say that your average cash flow is $500 on your rental property, which is very high. But let's just say that you've got a really great rental property and you're going to build it up and you want to make sure that you have cash flow to replace your income. And that's how you get it out of the rat race, right? Passive income covers your active expenses, active liabilities. And that's when you don't have to work for money anymore. That's the whole premise of Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the whole thing. That's what it's all built on. So you got $500. So that's $6,000 a year in cash flow. Okay. Now it's 1 to 4%. It's $2,000 to $8,000 for upkeep on that property. So let's just say that it's $2,000. Let's just say that you just fixed it up. It's in really good shape. It's doing fantastic. This is just upkeep. Okay. And then you've got $4,000 anytime that you need to replace a tenant. Right? This is the reason why we do so many deals as wholesalers with tired landlords, because the tired landlords say to the tenant, "Hey, listen, don't call me for these things, for this stuff. Don't call me for this, and I'll let you stay there as long as possible. I just won't increase your rents each year." Right? And so all of a sudden, you've got somebody that's in that property that's not really upkeeping that property. And now you've got a dated property that we go in and we lock up as wholesalers because it's just not in good shape. You're just not going to get full market value for it. Right? And then remember that every few years or so, every couple of years, you've got an $8,000 major repair. Okay? $8,000 major repair every, let's call it 3 to 4 years. Right? So now you've got your cash flow is now on a really good $500 a month rental. You've got $4,000 that you can take home. Right? It's about $60 a month that you can take home. It could pay now your grocery bill. Your groceries are taken care of out of one supercharged rental. But wait, you got to make sure that you're putting you got to make sure that you got to be putting this $8,000 aside for when there's a major repair. Okay? So as you can see here, guys, just common sense, you're not living off of cash flow. You're not living off of cash flow. Cash flow is basically just debt buy down, right? Because the tenant's going to be paying down your mortgage on the property, and then basically just upkeep for the property. You're not making anything on this. And I don't care if this is something that is you buy for $80,000 and you're getting $1,200 rent, and it's in one of these markets where it's a cash flowing market. Guess what? Cash flowing markets don't do. They don't appreciate. The only reason to buy rental properties is to own them for 20 plus years, buy double the amount that you need, get them to 50% equity, and then sell half of them, pay the other half off, and have a no debt portfolio. This is when you can actually live off of your cash flow. But Brent, it's good debt. Leverage. If you leverage, you do this and that. Liquor, lovers, and leverage crush all unbelievable superstar business people. That is a direct quote from Warren Buffett. The most successful, the most brightest, the most educated, the most experienced people can be destroyed by the 3 L's. Leverage, liquor, and lovers. He actually says ladies, but it was a long time ago. So we'll bring it up to today's standards. But this is where we want to get. We want to own these things. The smartest mentors I've ever had when it comes to rental portfolios are trying to pay off their debt as quickly as possible. They will take the excess cash flow to pay off their debt faster. They'll get 15-year loans instead of 30-year loans. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know that I'm conservative, but when the market shifts, and it will, and the market crashes, and it will at some point in the next 20, 30 years, this is what's going to keep the people afloat. And these people that are building portfolios that they don't have debt on, that they can have this asset for a long period of time, that they don't have to worry about like coming out of their own pocket for, these are the ones that win in turbulent markets. These are the ones that win and pick up all the other. What happens is they go and then take home equity lines against these when the market crashes, buy properties for half of what they could have a year or two before, and keep expanding and expanding and expanding. So really look at this and really invest. My advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. You could do whatever you want. My advice, buy in appreciating areas, put all the money that you make on those properties back into those properties, and get them paid off as fast as possible. Leverage is death. And that goes against a lot of people. Some of my best friends Some of my best friends will totally argue with me on this, and they could be right, and they are right. But it just depends on what kind of life you want to live. And I'll tell you what, as you get older, stress, it matters. Attention matters. You know what I mean? Where you put your attention matters. There's going to be more important things in your life as you get older. And so if you're just younger and starting out and you're like, well, I don't care, I got all this time, great. Start now, buy these properties, pay them off, and then you have this big portfolio that you could exit someday. You could sell it to a hedge fund someday for millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, put it into the market, get 7%, double your money every 10 years based on the rule of 72. Look it up, rule of 72. And then you're running, and you're living a great lifestyle, an incredible lifestyle. And that's what I want from you. So let's look at the stages of that, all right? Let's look at this right here. Matt, where's the stages? You took it off. Yep. Woo! We're starting out hot, guys. Guys, put in your questions. Looks like we already got 13, which is absolutely fantastic. But I just kind of want to warm this up. Warm this whole thing up, right? And look at what are we really going for here? What's the end goal when it comes to being a real estate entrepreneur? Boom, right here. Number one, do a deal. That's what this whole channel's for. I am the worst YouTuber of all time. My whole staff wishes I was a better YouTuber. I'm a terrible YouTuber. I like doing this. I like the teaching. I like the coaching. I like pontificating on my experience. I love doing all these type of things. I don't like clickbaity, what's latest now, copying other people, doing all that other stuff. That works. That gets eyeballs. I'd probably make a ton more money and the company would be even more successful. But I think it's short-term thinking. And I don't think it's long-lasting. I think whenever you're doing anything like this, you have to be authentic. But number one is do a deal. That's the point. That's my long way of explaining what the point of this channel is, for you to go out there and do a deal. I'm going to put you in the best position to do a deal. I'm going to cut through all the fat so that you can go out there and do a deal. You need to cross the bridge from faith to fact. That's step number one. Because we got stars in our eyes, we've got fire in our belly, we got electricity coming out of our fingertips, and we are ready to go. We've got all of the optimism that we could possibly muster, and we're ready to go until that first door gets slammed in our face. Before the first person tells us to go get a job, you're the 15th person that's talked to me about this property today. You know, when we start getting that rejection, we need to really build up that faith. That's why it's really important to be around people doing this business. You need to have a personal board of directors, people that are going to support you, they're going to protect you, and they're going to tell you the truth. Really, really, really important. Personal board of directors. You want somebody that's already been where you want to be. You want to have somebody that's known you forever, that's going to call you when you get wiggly, when you get too big for your britches, so to speak. You want somebody that's going to protect you, like an attorney or an accountant or a title company. You want these people on your personal board of directors, right? There's a scene in Rich Dad Poor Dad where Rich Dad comes in, he's wearing basically like flip-flops and like cargo shorts. They live in Hawaii, you know what I mean? So, and like just a regular, Tommy Bahama type shirt. And he's sitting there with all these people in like suits and looking real professional, and they're all there to work for him. That's the mentality, right? You obviously don't have to dress like that, but that's the mentality that you should have, that you are the head of that board of directors, which is you are the company, and you get people that are going to support you, a mentor, accountants, attorneys, best friends. They got to be there to support you. You got to be around people doing this business. And then number two, you got to be consistent enough to go full time in this business. Start closing your first deal, then you start closing once a month, then you start closing once a week, then you start closing multiple a week, then you can get to all the way up to one a day. That's the path that my company's on right now. We're doing about 12 deals a month. And so that is not about, we're doing 12 deals a month. And so what is that? 144 deals. So we still have 100 more that we got to find because there's like 250 working days. So we're on that path, and it's exciting. Next, kill the debt. Woo! Kill the debt. Here's the one that a lot of people don't talk about. Kill the debt. Kill your consumer debt. Do you have a car loan? Do you have credit card payments? Do you have student loans? Kill it. You're literally on somebody's balance sheet as an asset. They're literally pulling money from you and in the form of interest. So why would you go out and buy a rental property if you have credit card debt? Why would you go out and buy rental property if you have a car payment? It's just the money that you're making from that isn't going back into your portfolio. It's going back into somebody else's asset column, right? If you go and look up the Rich Dad Poor Dad, assets and liabilities, expenses, income, and look at those charts, it's a simple accounting charts. You would be on the asset side of somebody when you're paying debts. Stop paying debts. Make a ton of money in this business. Go out and find a deal today, this week. Go and pay all that stuff off. Wait until you feel the release of stress when you pay all that stuff off. When all of a sudden your monthly bills that you have to pay on the 1st or 15th of every month evaporate. It's like you're in junior high again. It's like you're living carefree. You know what I mean? You don't have as much things pulling you down. And when you don't have as much things pulling you down, that's when it gets exciting, because that's when you can focus on actually providing value. Next, invest in assets. Boom. Invest in assets. The more that you remember, every dollar that you receive from income can either be spent, saved, or invested. Spent, saved, or invested. I see people upgrade their lifestyle way too fast in this business. They start getting into all sorts of shenanigans because it's a tax write-off. Come on now. Come on. We're going to be smarter than that on this channel. We're going to be smarter than that in this community. We're going to be putting it away. We're going to be those conservative, just old school guys that just put it away. I wouldn't say that it's Dave Ramsey. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't watch Dave Ramsey. I've never read his books. I've seen a couple clips because I thought that he does a good job on his YouTube channel, but that's about it. But invest in the assets. Invest in something that's going to appreciate long-term to build long-term wealth, because we've got a certain window of time where we're going to be wildly productive in earned income, but we need to be making sure that we're planting the seeds for long-term wealth, because control over the time we have left on this planet, that's the whole thing. That's why we're entrepreneurs. We're entrepreneurs because we hate people telling us what to do and when to do it and where to be and how to be there. Awesome. I love you guys. Thank you for being on here, especially on the 3rd of July. I didn't know if anybody was going to be on here. So this is really, really, really awesome. And we've got the best of the best. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm going to sneak him in. He's back again. He's the favorite of everybody. This man makes everybody's life better. We're going to bring him on here, and then we're going to start answering some questions. It's your mentor. It's my mentor. It's the coach of the coaches. It's the guy that has put me on this path, certainly, but also walks the walk, lives the lifestyle, spends a tremendous amount of time with his 14 children, all with the first name starting with an L. He works from home. I think his dog's name starts with an L, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. And he's been pouring in to the best of the best for a long time. Has really removed himself from mainstream, has really focused niche on people that are very serious about growing their business. And I love it. I think it's a wonderful path. He was really loud for a long time, created Wholesaling Inc., created the #1 wholesaling podcast. I would dare to say that this man single-handedly brought wholesaling into the light when it was in the shadows forever. For probably 100 years, it was in the shadows. He was the first one to pull it into the light. And because of that, has really spawned everybody else that has created wholesaling coaching, wholesaling YouTube videos, a tremendous amount of wholesaling on TikTok lives, has inspired countless generations of real estate investors. I think if you really pull the cord all the way back, I think he can be and will be known as one of the most influential real estate coaches of all time, up there on the Mount Rushmore. It is my friend, my mentor, your mentor, Tom Kroll. Tom.
Bam!
How was that?
What an introduction. I love it. I'm so honored to be with you, brother. What a great adventure and what an awesome introduction. I'm blown away to spend time with you. So thank you.
2012, right? 2012 you started wholesaling?
Just about. Yeah, it's been a long. I'm getting old, man. I'm 45. I remember when I used to come in and I was the young guy.
Right? 2012 you started, and you knew that this could help so many people get started in this business. And you really started Wholesaling Inc. in 2013. And then in 2016, it really expanded with the podcast, and you really transitioned. You had a wholesaling business for a long time. You really enjoyed that. But you've done this really interesting thing, Tom. You built up a business, you win at the game, and then you play a new game. You know what I mean? Yeah. What is that about? Why not? Because you don't have a wholesaling business now. You have an incredible portfolio that your wholesaling business and coaching and everything else allowed you to purchase and put that money into assets. You never went out, and you could have easily bought $5, $6, $10 million house on the ocean in Palm Beach or whatever else, and you didn't. You've been in the same house. You have been working out of that office for forever, but you've been putting your money into assets. So, like, one, why not just stick with that business long term? And then why didn't you just go bananas and totally go crazy with your lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, thank you for having me on. And this is the same house that you were in
yes.
that other office. I love it.
Yep.
That's fantastic. I remember filming stuff in that other office out in the front of the house.
That's it.
But yeah, the kids love it here. And it's been a great adventure being in this community. I love it. We know everyone here, and the kids. I have Logan, Lacey, Lily, Lucas, Levi, right, and Luna, who just got up for a minute. And they've got all friends in the community. So I'm staying, right?
Right.
But yeah, and it's funny to hear you talk about growing. I think you want to know the secret to financial freedom. Two things. Number one, put a cap on your financial aspirations, right? Don't be the biggest, be the best. Don't be the biggest, be the best. We see these guys who want to be the biggest, right? They're like a rocket ship. Everyone envies them, right? They're like, oh man, it's so amazing. I'm going to follow this person. And these things tend not to last. Always aspire to be the best, not the biggest. There's a great book. Where is it? Here, right here. This is Trevor Mock, the great Trevor Mock, who started Carrot.com. Back then it was called On Carrot, who I just got to spend a week with in Philadelphia, who's such a sweetheart, and just, recommended Small Giants, right? About that exact thing that you're talking about, that I'm about a quarter of the way through right now. But, I think the key is, hey guys, you know what your product is? I'll share a little secret with everyone is, everyone thinks that their product is door hinges or real estate or dog grooming or whatever. If you're an entrepreneur, let me share this secret with you right now. Your product is your business. Your product is your business, not real estate, not wholesaling. If you want to increase your business acumen, start on square one, which is a recognition that the product that you create is your business. And if you start looking at it that way, you start to realize that it doesn't matter if you make pens or pencils or victory bells or door hinges or real estate or build them or trade them or sell them or whatever you do. You really want to start simple. Michael Gerber teaches us this in the E-Myth, right? All these complicated operating systems, EOS, scaling up, Vern Harnish, these are big, heavy. Start with this. All the good stuff is in the old books, right? Michael Gerber, the E-Myth, write an org chart. You're the owner, write your name. Then you're the sales guy, write your name. What do you do? You're the marketing guy, write your name. What do you do? Right? You're the fulfillment guy, you're the services, you're the support, write your name. What do you do? And just start with the basic. Read Brian Tracy recommends Checklist Manifesto, written by a surgeon. And it's a phenomenal book. Just start with checklists every single day. What is the structure of your day? Revenue in first position, right? You start by who owes you money, what revenue can you generate? What are the things that generate revenue? The leads. This stuff is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Don't overcomplicate it. Business is easy. Owners are complicated. If you want to grow and scale, start with the basics. And I've got the E-Myth somewhere. I'm sure it's always close by. I just reread it for the 4th or 5th time. It's actually here. Let's see. There it is. I was just on a trip. It's right. I'm sure. I know it's in this bag. Here, look at this. I love this. Oh, it's my favorite book. Look at all those. This is the secret, guys. There's no secret. Read the old stuff. Read the stuff that Brent Daniels reads. Reads the stuff. Easy peasy. I love it.
Well, Tom, you were the first person that I had listened to that you made it not about real estate, but about business. And I thought that was really interesting. You didn't come in here and into the business and go, oh, I need to know everything about escrow and title. I need to know everything about repair costs. I need to know everything about, cash flowing assets and all these other things. You just went, hey, listen, there's people that want to sell their house fast and there's people that want to buy houses fast. I just need to get in the middle of it. And I bet I could build a business doing that.
Bam,
and that right there was it. It wasn't about learning all of these things, because the trap in real estate investing is over educating, is the education loop of thinking that you have to know everything about everything, or the seller's going to put you on a back foot, or you're going to be taken advantage of by cash buyers or other investors that have, or have been doing this for years and years and years. And you were the first one that's like, it doesn't matter. Just find somebody that wants to sell a house fast. Find somebody that wants to buy a house fast. And if you want to close on it yourself, great. If you don't want to close on it, you've got the option to assign it over to these people that want to buy these properties. And by the way, people that want to buy properties fast, guess what they're terrible at? Marketing. Guess what they're terrible at? Emotions. They have the lowest emotional intelligence of anybody in our industry, are flippers and long-term rental portfolio buyers. It is wild. They are numbers based. They are technical. They are process based. They are checklist based. They just want properties that they can go and put their checklist, put their process into, and do a flip, make some money, move on. What we do is all the emotional intelligence. We're the ones sitting down with the property owner. We're the ones building relationships with real estate agents or other investors. We're the ones bringing that the problem solving element to these transactions, or they just won't get done. And so that's what I found was so impactful about what you were talking about on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast.
Guys, anybody who's listening to this right now and you're following Brent and you dream of financial freedom, and whatever your dream is, whatever your version of success is, or your definition of wealth, information, if you haven't done your third deal yet, information is not your problem. You do not have a lack of information. Information is a glue trap. It's clarity of instruction. It's massive imperfect action to get the result, and the education comes after. I remember when why would anybody ever sell? I was hung up on this. Well, if I'm going to do it, I would just call an agent. Why would I sell at a discount? I don't understand. What kind of position would you have to be in? This kind of stuff, you don't need to know. This is why rule number 5 in business is you only take feedback from 5 people: the people who love you, the people who pay you, the people you pay, the people who regulate your industry, and the people who are already where you want to be. Don't get in your own way. This is not, the business is about what the business is. This whole old, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. You're 100% right. You focus on you and what you love all day, you're never going to work a day in your life. And work is good and honest and wholesome. And you go to bed exhausted at the end of the day, and it's a hustle and grit for a season, right? Hustle is a season, not a lifestyle. And then you have all the benefits of entrepreneurship, because in that good work where you were focused on the marketplace, on the seller, on the buyer, instead of the arrow being pointed in towards you, you took that arrow and you said, no, I'm going to focus on what the market wants, not what I want. And in that good work, you will find things that you love. You'll find things that you're naturally good at. And then you'll have a business that gives you the option to work instead of the obligation to work. That's what entrepreneurship is. It's just a realization that you need to be all day pointed out towards other. It's in your service towards other where you're going to find financial freedom. It's not going to be in doing what you love to do all day. And I'll go even a step further, which is controversial, is don't monetize what you love. Whatever you love, you love building terrariums or spending time with your kids or walking your dog. Don't monetize that stuff. Allow the business to give you the time and the space and the freedom and the finances, the money, the revenue to do what you love. Whenever you love, try not to monetize it. Try to keep that separate from business, and then allow the business to serve you by serving other people. I think we get so caught up with all of these people, online, and there's so many people doing all these different things, and they look good and they sound good. But at the end of the day, you got to go with the old, proven, boring, dull, mundane, 100, 200, 300-year-old information. All of this stuff has been figured out by the men and women who came before us, the men and women of consequence, not the ones who wanted to be remembered, not the, all this other silly stuff, just the simple generation after generation after generation of successful sons and daughters coming from the same families again and again and again and again and again and again and again. It's all right there in front of us. And we get caught up with distractions. And here's the problem with distractions. When you're distracted, just recognize this: distractions make money. So when you put your time, energy, focus, attention, and revenue into something else, you're going to make money. It's a distraction. You want compound exponential result, all of your time, energy, revenue, and focus all in one thing. That's how you get exponential results. I remember when Wholesaling Inc, my kids would go to an Apple store to get an iPad, and I'd go to every machine and try to do keywords for how to wholesale and then bring Wholesaling Inc to the top page. I mean, this is what it takes. It takes all of you for a season. All of your, just every thought that you're having, it almost becomes like an obsession or OCD. Yep. But Rachel Ray never went to culinary school. She just outworked everyone else around her for a season. And now she's building a beautiful home in Tuscany, right? So, I think these things are really, we just get in our own way, and then you end up on a hamster wheel and you're chasing cash, and you're just on a hamster wheel chasing cash. And then what do you have? You're moving all this money around, or you're doing all this activity. You feel like you're moving. You're not going anywhere. You're on a hamster wheel. And then, you have a hiccup and the whole thing can collapse like a house of cards in 2 seconds. So follow the old rules. That's the key.
What do you think about good debt?
Yeah, well, it's controversial in real estate, right? I think that at the end of the day,
we've had a lot of conversations about this, Tom. We have had conversations about this since 2016, and it's the same. Anyway. What are your thoughts?
I think that when it comes to debt, there's a tool. It's either you or the debt. But one of you is a tool. It's either you or the debt. I'm not against debt. I use debt. I think that leveraging debt and other people's money is good. I think it's a complicated topic in real estate for a lot of reasons, but in general, debt is dark. I think it's like fire. You've got to be very, very careful with it. Every single person in 2008 who went out of business, every single one had one thing in common: debt. Right. And what the problem with debt is, it's very attractive. It makes you feel like a superstar, right? You get to talk about big numbers the way like a real estate agent will say, like, oh, I closed $100 million, right? Because they're talking about the price of the homes. So I think that debt makes you feel good in the short term, but a lot of times business has to do with impulse control, just like generational wealth, right? It has to do with discipline, willpower, impulse control. People who are in debt, one of the biggest mistakes, if you look, you say, okay, Tom, you coach all these people, right? And with all of these, influencers and business owners, what takes people out of the game, right? There's 5 things that take you out of the game: debt, divorce, legal, health, taxes. Debt, divorce, legal, health, taxes. That's what takes you out, right? So here's what I'm going to say. Debt, it's a tool. Use it. Be conservative, be ultra conservative, and always trying to be getting out of it. And whatever you do, guys, hear me on this. If you're in debt, whatever you do, when you get in trouble with debt, Do not put good money after bad money. That's what killed everyone in 2008. They were trying to save the bad deals. When you've got sick dogs, you take them out behind the barn and you kill them because they'll kill every other dog in your pack. So the rule with debt is you got to be really careful. You got to move slow, and you got to make sure that the more debt you take on, the more conservative you become. Ultimately, you have to ask yourself this question: what exactly is it? One thing I've learned in business, Brent, right, is that solutions are easy, problems are elusive, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best people, you ask somebody who's struggling for advice, and you give them a problem, a person who's doesn't have a lot of business acumen, wealth, or success, they'll give you an answer right away, right? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? When you talk to someone who has a net worth over 500 million and you say, hey, I've got this situation, what do? They slow down.
Mm-hmm.
They start asking a lot of questions. What are they doing? They're trying to find the problem. So when you're going to be dealing in debt, you have to really be good at identifying the actual problem that you're trying to solve. There is nothing that you can buy in a store that is going to make you, in 5 years, it's going to be totally inconsequential. I just heard what's his name say this, but anything you buy in a store in 5 years is going to add nothing to your life. It's going to be something in a garage sale for a quarter, right? So I think the question you have to ask is, if you want to win at money, get a big goal, right? But once you get the goal, go focus on something else. There's no joy in running up the score of a one game, right? Like, we know these guys, right? We won't name anyone, but Brent and I we know people who have a lot of money in the bank. They try to monetize every relationship. They destroy every relationship that's not monetized. They made it to the top of the mountain by themselves. And there's nothing there up there except for it's freezing cold and you end up jumping off because you're miserable. So I think that the key is don't try to seek balance, try to seek harmony, right? You're going to have a season where everyone in your family understands that you have to put work first, right? You have to put it's God and then it's work, because that's how I love my family. But that's for a season. I heard Trevor this weekend, he quoted someone and he said, burnout doesn't come from hard work. He's 110% correct. I've never seen somebody work hard and get burnout. It's the people who don't understand there's no such thing as time management. There's only priority management. So you've got to just do the right things and work hard and keep it simple. Focus. Here's the number one takeaway from, I think, this: focus more on fewer things. That's the key. That's how you get seasons of harmony where things work well together, instead of seeking this balance, or this new term that everyone's been throwing away for the last 3 or 5 years is, I want a lifestyle business. I don't even know what this means, right? But this whole new genre that I have, a lifestyle business. If you build business the right way, you'll have the best lifestyle. That's a better way to say that, maybe.
I love it, Tom. Debt, divorce, legal, health, taxes, the 5. I was talking about Warren Buffett's liquor, leverage, and lovers as the 3 that destroy fortunes.
But I didn't know that one. That's good. Warren Buffett's better than me.
Well, I mean, I think they run parallel, right?
Yeah.
Debt, divorce, legal, health, taxes. That usually that's right in there with a lot of what he was talking about, right? Yeah. And so, guys, you got to pay attention to what Tom's saying. We bring him on the show every single week when he is available, when he's not traveling with the family or not doing something or speaking or whatever else. So Tom, how can people find you? They've got a robust business. They're ready to get the best coach for, Tom coaches all the coaches, and Tom coaches incredible entrepreneurs throughout the country. How can people get a hold of you, Tom?
Yeah, Coaching Inc, coachinginc.com, just like Wholesaling Inc. I love it. Coachinginc.com. Fill out an application. Be detailed. If you're, I'm a super friendly guy, right? But if you don't put a lot of time into the application, it gets rejected. You could reapply in a year. For coaching, but it'll get put on a wait list. So give me some really good detailed and information, and we'll go on a great adventure together. But you got to be ready to lock in and let's get this thing done. If you want to grow, there's two kinds of businesses, right? There's the ones that you run and the one that runs you. So I'm more interested in one over the other. So if you're feeling like, hey, you want to grow and you want to have that sort of business that you run that gives you the option to work instead of the obligation, fill out an application. I personally read all of the ones that pass through some of the people on my team who and if I get it and read it, I'll call you either way and we'll have a discussion.
Awesome. Can we get one more bell ring? Come on, guys. Tom Kroll. Thank you, Tom.
Love you, brother. Have a great day.
Love you, bud.
See you.
Awesome, guys. Should definitely check out Tom Kroll, coachinginc.com. He's the best of the best. Let's get into some questions before we, as I transition, we'll get into some questions. Before we do so, Hunter, pick out somebody that's going to get the new book by Henry Washington, Real Estate Deal Maker right here. We'll also give you the master lead sheet pad that we have here for all your leads. And I've got a couple different trapper keepers to throw those in today. We're going to go with some weird, futuristic, colorful trapper keeper for the first one. And then we'll do another one later if you stick around with the kittens, the blue-eyed kittens. Oh, beautiful. There we go. All right. So we'll be giving that away. Be nice to Alejandra in the comments. She's the one that selects who gets them and who doesn't. Tyson asks, hey, Brent, to open title in Hawaii, it's $500 every time. My business and personal funds are now depleted after not having got a deal for 9 months. Should I go with a subscription-based title company? That's really interesting that they charge you $500. It's probably because there's not a tremendous amount of transactions. Usually the only markets that I see that in, Tyson, are the smaller markets where there's not a lot of transactions. So to keep really good, talented people on staff, they have to charge a minimum on just opening up escrow. I think that this is a challenge. This is they're throwing down the gauntlet at you to lock up real deals. All right. What it sounds like is you're opening up some, but having to cancel because you're not worried about the $500 if you're closing deals every single time, earning 15, 20, 25,000, I think is the average in Hawaii per deal. So with that being said, really challenge yourself to make sure you're locking up really, really, really solid deals. If you need some help with that, remember that you can use this to be able to really give a nice guidelines to where you need to be. If it's $250,000 more in his estimate on Zillow, be around 50% if it needs work. Obviously, guys, this isn't for properties that are in really great shape. This isn't for properties where you talk to them and they go, I just put a new roof in. I just put a new AC in. I just put new countertops in. Great. Listed on the market. It sounds like you want to get as much as possible for this property. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Great. Number one way to do that is to expose it to the most amount of buyers. Best way to do that is to hire a real estate agent, put it on the market. We have these conversations all the time. We have these conversations because we have an agent, Stacy, who's an absolute killer on our team. She'll go out on the appointments and list a lot of the properties that we have for the leads that we have that are just that should be retail, that the people, the properties are in good condition and they want full market value, or at least see what the full market value is. But if it's a rough house and they want speed and convenience, Matt, can we put the speed, convenience, and price little graphic in here so that I can play around with that later? Did you get that, Matt? All right. 250 to 100,000, you're at 35%. If you're at 100,000 or below, you're at 10%. Okay. So there you go. That's where part two. I have a sales call in 15 minutes with Henry Washington. Money is too low to join anybody at this time, and I want to start with TTP, Astro, etc. Any feedback? You got to go with your gut on these things. Every single time that I've selected a coach, it has been all instinct. It has been all gut. Right? There is something about the way they communicate. There's something about the authenticity. There's something about their availability. There's something about their community that you really bond and connect with. That's who you go with. All right? Don't go with the one that's the biggest or the shiniest or the loudest unless it connects with you. If it connects with you, go bananas. That's probably why they're the biggest. You know what I mean? They have a bigger net for connecting with people. But go with your gut with that. That's number one. All right. Number one. Here you go. Here's the other one. Guys, sellers only get two. All right. There's speed, convenience, and price on every home sale. Speed, convenience, and price on every single time that somebody sells their property. If they want speed and convenience, then they don't get their price. We have these conversations every day. Let me remove this so that I can be really dramatic here. Every day, we have these conversations with property owners, whether it's Chad, Ryan, or Joshua, my acquisitions team. They have these conversations every day. Somebody wants 250. Best we can do is probably 210, right? Maybe 200. And we have these conversations with them on what is really important. What is the problem that they have? 80% of the conversations that you have with property owners is discovery. And you're discovering what is going on with that person, the people, the family, the couple, whatever. What is happening? What is the personal problem that they have with this property? That's it. Number one, that distinguishes if it's a lead, have they made the decision that they're going to sell their property? Okay, that's number one. Number two is what is going on? What is the problem that a cash as is offer will solve? If somebody wants a cash as is offer on their property that needs significant investment, but they have unrealistic expectations on price, it is our job to let them know what we can offer. I say this every week on the show. Is something that Ryan Thornton, my acquisition manager, taught me. We don't tell them what they should sell their property for. We only tell them what we can buy their property for. That's a huge difference. It's a huge difference. And when you go in there with that attitude, you're going to win because you're going to be honest with them. Listen, there is no profit to be made if I buy at this price. There's just simply not. Once it's fixed up, it's going to sell for this. Would you agree? Most of the times, property owners will agree on what a fixed up value will be. Sometimes they're bananas, especially landowners. Landowners that want to rezone and you could do all this and that. They're just ridiculous with their expectations sometimes. They either want nothing or they want 10 times what it's worth. They're putting in questions here because I'm just going off I'm just rambling at this point. But it's really important. It's really important to understand this really, really, really clear. Sellers only get two. Dimitri, listening to this, as I locked up a $50K duplex lot for $4K plus probate expense $5K, $9K, he gets a $50K duplex every day of the week. By the way, Dimitri's doing this. It's a celebration. Let's get some of this going. Dimitri's doing that like twice a week, by the way, these big deals. If you guys want to really connect with somebody, make sure that you're connecting with Dimitri. Dimitri, put your info in there for people. Doesn't even live in this country, by the way. Lives in Europe, Belgium, I believe. I think he's doing something with some citizenship. Maybe he's moving here. I hope so. The country would be better for it. But he's doing this all virtually. It's all over the phone. It's all this thing. It's the remote control for society. It can either be a tool or a huge distraction. Drew Renner, let's go, Brent. 4 contracts this month. Let's get these closed. Here we go. Congratulations, Drew. Get those deals closed and keep it going, right? Make sure that the machine is always running. Make sure that you're always shoveling coal into the engine of that train. If your business is a old school locomotive that takes coal, as an analogy. But I think we all get it. Maybe not. Maybe kids don't know. They're like, what are you talking about? But I think Thomas the Train, educated people. Anyway, Tori, hey, Brent, how accurate is that AI list with a saleability score? And what software do you use to find those? Yeah. So we use flipfinder.ai. Let me share this with you right here and let everybody know what he's talking about. It's been a phenomenal resource for the Rhino tribe. And a top list for us. And with Flip Finder, essentially what he's talking about is you go in and you can get you could search these property leads and look for AI scores. Let me just go into Phoenix. Hold on. Why is it? Yes. Oh, that's just in there. No. Property leads. Why is this not popping up? It's messing with me. Usually pops up a different thing. Find leads near me. It pulls up the AI score, and I don't know, maybe they're doing an update right now in here, but it's been really accurate. And I think, listen, I think more and more companies are going to come out with it. I know that PropStream's doing it. I know Deal Machine's doing it. I know Batch is doing it. So whatever you're using and like using, use it. We use flipfinder.ai. I'm not sure why it's not pulling up the search here, but whatever. I'm not going to bore everybody. Anyway, so it usually pulls up and you can look at the AI score, and AI scores they take all the demographics of the property owners and all of the property characteristics. They smush them together and they come up with the most likely score, but you never know. You got to test it. All right. There you go. Can we break down selecting a good virtual market and identifying the best sellers to focus on? Yes. Here's the thing. Everybody wants to get super analytical with this. The fact is the bigger markets are going to be where you get the biggest profits. Robert Wensley came in. He's the owner of Investor Lift. He looked at all the stats. Without a doubt, the bigger markets win. Bigger markets have more buyers. They have more hard money lenders. So the bigger markets win. So just go select, where do you want to own your rental portfolio? Where do you want to own rentals? Go after those as a virtual market, pick it, and just start taking action. I know people that are millionaires in Indianapolis. I know people that are millionaires in Austin, Texas. I know people that are millionaires in Miami. I know people that are millionaires in Tucson, Arizona. Stop worrying about where to go and just go. That's it. There's no magic formula for this thing. Now, we picked out the top 50 markets based on the Zillow. We did this report last year. We put it out there. The most cash purchases, the highest appreciation, all those things. People went into those markets, and it was the same results as if they were staying in their own market. Pick a market and go deep. That's it. Stop. There's no take your analytical brain and throw it out the window and just pick a list of 1,000 properties or 200 properties in whatever markets you want to own real estate in and call up the property owners and see if they would consider offers. That's it. Best sellers to focus on, driving for dollars. Guys, I don't know if you guys have been seeing what Deal Machine has done this week. Literally, they came out. I think they're trying to bankrupt all the other companies. I really do. I think the Deal Machine is throwing so much money. I don't know how they're profitable. I got to talk to David Letko, the owner. But they now have a dialer built in. So you can go to any of these leads. You could just call it and call it right here. It's going to give you an unspammed caller ID to call these property owners and instantly make contact with them on your desktop and your phone. You can literally go driving for dollars virtually on your laptop, on your desktop, whatever. You can go in here. You could start driving around to the older areas in your marketplace. Select the lead and press call. And by the way, when you call, it has an AI that tracks everything that they're saying, everything you're saying, and it gives you suggestions on what to say next if you're getting stuck based on the responses that they have. And the longer that you're in there with the AI, the more it trains it. You can click a button in here, and this thing will tell you what you should offer on this. You see this little purple thing that I'm going to select it right there? This is the Alma. How much should I offer for a wholesale deal? Look at this thing. Max allowable offer, 209, 188. Guys, we are quickly coming into a period in real estate investing that's never been seen before, where the research is going to be all done for us. The people that learn to, hold on, I'm going to get dramatic again here. People that learn to talk to people, that's the whole philosophy, on a daily basis, have conversations and offers, are going to clean house. Absolutely clean house. It's not going to be the people that have all the research done. Probably never has been, but this is just making it it's incredible. If you guys don't have Deal Machine, make sure that you get it. Use the coupon code TTP. It's a no-brainer. I mean, literally, they're packing in a dialer, AI. They get by the way, you get 10,000 free skip tracing. And take a look at this. Not turning this into a commercial for them, but why not? Because you guys are going to use it, and you guys are going to go do deals like today. You go into this any lead here. Look at this. They have associated contacts. Have you ever had a problem getting a hold of the property owner? Like the numbers just don't work. They have associated contacts now here that you click on this thing. It's got their email address so that you could just email them. You could just cold email them, or you could plug that in and see if you could find them on social media, or you can call them. I mean, it's just incredible. And by the way, they have it also figured out. Let me see if I can find one of these that's owned by like a corporation. No, because it already opens up open corporates. It shows you who. Here we go. Beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. The LLC, and it's already got the information here. Boom. Awesome. That one was probably easy. Let's be honest. That one's just the guy's name, but you get it. Unlimited driving for dollars, 10,000 skip chases. It's bananas. I just put out a whole new course on exactly how to use this. It's an hour long. It's phenomenal. It came out yesterday. And it's one that you have to watch after the show. Go and take some time during this holiday. You know, nobody's doing anything in the morning on the 4th, right? Or even the evening in the 3rd. Just take an hour, watch it, implement, go find a deal. All right. Awesome. Next question. John, I need help. I'm in St. Louis and I'm calling probate, but no luck. A lot of hang up and not interested. I'd be interested to see where you are getting your list from. If it's direct from the county or if it's from one of these resources. This is the best of the best. It's not even close. If you're having problems, this right here is it's driving for dollars. This is actually number 1 right now in the Rhino Tribe on our support calls for success is usleadlist.com. It is the pre-probate. So John, catch them before it even goes to probate. Catch it before it even files. They go and scrape obituaries, proprietary technology to go and find the people that have properties that just passed away and give you all the information. Not only that, tell them TTP sent you, or Brent or Rhino Tribe or whatever you want to say. And you get $500 off and you get unlimited. You get free skip tracing of all the lists that they get for free for life. And you go back 28 months. So you get a nice, robust list. I mean, if there's one list, if you're like, what one list would you get? This would be it. This would be it by far. The other one is realsupermarket.com. Realsupermarket.com. They sell their data to everybody else. Realsupermarket.com. Really, really, really strong. Also tell them that I sent you. All right, cool. Brent, does end buyers necessarily know you're JVing? It depends on if you are JVing. So a joint venture means you didn't find the deal. You're just finding the end buyer. And what we usually experience is from other wholesalers. They'll have us assign the deal to them, to their company, and they then have control. They assign it to their end buyer. So they'll see it on the settlement statement, but doesn't really affect anything, truly. Cold calling baller. Hey, Brent, just trying to fully understand that if I cold call certain motivated seller lists for 90 days, part-time, 20 hours a week, I can potentially close my first deal. You're going to close a lot of deals. You're going to close a tremendous amount of deals. Cold calling baller. Yeah, you should be getting a deal every 20 hours that you're calling. So you're talking 12 weeks of calling. See, the biggest challenge that we face if we don't have a budget. All right. If we don't have a budget, and it goes back to this, and I can break this down on the board a little bit more. Hey, Matt, it kicked out the blueprints. Will you upload the blueprints again, please? You can get rid of some of these quotes or whatever. You should be getting a deal every 20 hours that you're calling. You should be getting a deal every 200 contacts that you make. And it is easier when you have better quality lists like US Lead List, like Driving for Dollars, like probates, like tired landlords that have owned their properties for a long period of time. All those. But this is the path here. I'm going to show you. Here's the path. And I know that this is small, so I could break this down. So please ask questions, guys. I'm here to answer questions. But this is what you start. If you were, and there's different brainstorms here. There's different places that we're at. There's different factors that we put into effect here. The fourth one is really what market you're in, big or small. But for the most part, it really breaks down to here. Are you part-time, full-time? Are you experienced or inexperienced? Do you have a budget or don't you have a budget, right? If you don't have a budget, you start at the very tippity top, okay, of this blueprint. And you're doing a little bit of direct mail, which is really easy. You can. I suggest you do. I think it's really smart to do handwritten cards. Get you proactive, get you in the flow. Referrals, everybody should be going into Facebook. Everybody should be friend requesting or getting into every real estate group you can and friend requesting everybody in there till you get to 5,000. And every day you should be posting a story, not an actual post, a story of anything. You could take a picture of your screen right now. You could screenshot this. You could take a picture of a wall. You could take a picture of your shoes. You could take a picture of whatever, your face, and just say, I buy houses, and put your phone number. It works. It'll get you an extra few deals every single year. Everybody's going to know what you're up to. And that's really, really, really powerful. So that's what I mean by referral. And then you got to figure, are you going to be making calls or texts? Are you going to text or call? Some people are like, Brent, I will never get on and just cold call somebody. I just won't. I just know myself. I have enough self-awareness. I just won't do it. Great. You have to be proactive somehow. I assume you're not going to go door knock. So what are you going to do? You're going to text. So then text, right? But I don't think that you should hire a VA. I don't think that you're certainly not ready for pay-per-click. You're not ready for pay-per-click till the very bottom. When you're full-time, you have money and experience. Because it transitions. Let me show you this transition here. All right. Let me show you this transition. You start out and you are nitty gritty. It is effort. You're doing all outbound. Outbound means you are earning it. You are building up your experience, which builds up your mindset. Remember, mindset, the number one factor for mindset is the skills, is your skills. People that know what they're doing don't have to think about it. It's unconscious. Thank you. Is that blue? You got the blue nail polish? Yeah. All right. I like it. Summertime, baby. Outbound. So you've got TTP, which is cold calling. You've got text. You got door knock. And you've got some posting. You can post. Right? TTP, this, by the way, this is to agents. and to property owners. And other investors, right? That's just being super proactive. You're just reaching out every single day, initiating the conversations. And this is where we start out. You don't have to have a budget for this. Literally, you don't have to have a budget for this. You certainly don't need to have a budget for this. I mean, I'm lying, all right? To get like full-blown dialer, unlimited calls and I think it's just calls. Yeah, unlimited calls, unlimited skip tracing, all the lists is about $200 for Deal Machine a month. $200 for Deal Machine. You could get that and just go bananas. If you can't find $200, listen, I've had students, and I'm not joking, they would sell their plasma from their body, from their blood or whatever. I don't even know where plasma comes from. I assume it's part of our blood. I don't know. I'll ask my wife. She's the nurse. She would know. But find $200. Sell something, hustle something, flip something, whatever it is. Find $200 so that you can fuel your real estate dreams. Text is going to probably cost you, if you use like REI Reply or something like that, it's going to cost you probably, let's just say, for the month, $500 is probably reasonable for everything because you're going to have to get skip tracing, and I would highly suggest that you get that. So this plus this would probably be about $500. Door knocking, nothing. This is $0. This is how I started. Beat up old ES300, Lexus ES300, which basically is a Camry. It's the exact same thing as a Camry. Busted out windows. I'd have to park it around the corner so nobody saw it. And I would just go door knocking with like a binder that had like some business cards and some like lead sheets in it. And I wore a polo, and on the back it said neighborhood ambassadors. And so I was just door knocking and just trying to find people that sell their house. That's how I found my first deals. And then I realized if I get a name, address, and phone number of a property owner, that's all I need to build a fortune, to do as many deals as I want, because I was just doing this and calling property owners all day long. And then posting. This doesn't cost you anything. Post every single day. Post every single day. Or go into Facebook groups, investor groups that are trying to sell deals, and get on those wholesalers lists. Go and talk to cash buyers, investors in the area, and just match them up with the list that you find. Match them up with the wholesaling list. And so this is really, really powerful. Then you get into inbound. And this is when your life changes forever. You will not, it's like a miracle. And I'm being dramatic. It must be 4th of July. I'm feeling like the dramatic of independence. You know what I mean? As an entrepreneur, this is like the best time of the year. Inbound, Borowski and Sisterski. Direct mail, right? Direct mail. PPL, which is pay per lead. PPC, which is the end all be all. TV, radio, billboards, whatever it is. Whatever, bandit signs. This is all inbound leads, right? Once you get your referral base up, that kind of referrals, it's all great, right? All roads lead here. This is where I'm at right now. I mean, we're locking up 2 to 4 deals a week right here. And that's been building. I've been telling you that we're doing about 12 deals a month, all of them here. We've been messing around with pay-per lead, with property leads, which is phenomenal. ttpleads.com. You can start here if you want to get some of those inbound. And a lot of people are using this strategy to buy cheaper leads on the outskirts and match them up with cash buyers that they find on Investor Lift, which is a powerful tool. So you could find somebody that has the big boy version of Property Lift, connect with them, and buy leads pay per lead until you can afford it. I think it's like 30 or 40 grand a year for the big version of Investor Lift. But you go out and you get the PPL. This is the RJ Bates. This is the Novation guys are doing this a lot. Nick Perry's are doing a lot of this type of stuff, and they're doing a phenomenal job of just paper lead to investor lift and selling those deals. And then inbound with direct mail, TV, radio. But when you do inbound, you have to respond. You have to answer them live, and you have to respond to these leads within 30 seconds. But these are more expensive. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm spending in PPC, I was spending $40K. Now I'm spending $60K. I'm about to spend TV about $50K a month here because I want to build the brand locally and get those deals. And it's usually a 3-to-1 return. But if you're getting a 4-to-1 return on inbound consistently, quarter after quarter, you're set. You're set, because if you've got 25% for marketing and 25% for your personnel, for people, and this is leads, and 10% for operations, which, you know, you don't necessarily need, you got a 40% net profitability business. You go talk to any real entrepreneur that has a multi-million-dollar business, ask him if 40% is legit, would be a good business. They would die for that. The average is like 10% profitability. Once you get over like $1.5 million, $2 million, if you look at the stats of businesses, it's usually about 10%. So being at 40% with this, guys, we're in the best business ever. This is the greatest business ever. Let alone once you start balling out with your inbound, and you start cherry picking the easy flips that you can make double on, that you don't make 20K on, you make 60K on those deals. You don't make 50K on those deals, you make 104,000 on those deals. Ooh. Mommy likey, you know what I'm saying? Like you take that home to your partner, your spouse. They're gonna like that. They're gonna like that lifestyle. They're gonna like it a lot. And so that's where it all ends up. But it ends up inbound. Typically, I mean, sometimes people stay in this space and they build big, huge teams. But I think that this is gonna go out. And I know a lot of people are doing AI calls right now, which is really interesting. I mean, it's, robo-dialing is illegal. So, I mean, play that game. Well, I won't get shut down. Play that game. I ain't playing that game. I'm going to go inbound. I'm going to protect, right? But if you're going outbound and you're doing all that and you're building big teams and VAs, you just have to have a lot of people. And so I would rather be responsible for less people and more responsible for better systems. Ooh, put that in a fortune cookie. All right. Next. Hey, Brent, is tomorrow a good day to cold call motivated sellers? Sure, why not? I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, I always got it done. I always knew that, like, mentally, my family always had stuff going on. So I always knew holidays, birthdays, weekends, I don't want to be working. Once a month, I would do a super Saturday and bring in a bunch of people just because the availability was there for people. And I would train them how to make cold calls. And most of them are real estate agents and other people that I met at the Bigger Pockets meetups. And I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm going to actually be making calls live. I'll put it on speakerphone. Come in on Saturdays. We'll get some Domino's pizza. We'll have a good time. And we'll actually not just talk theory, which is most meetups that you go to. Most videos that you watch is educational. It's not instruction. And so we were just making calls. Well, now everybody's doing it. People are making calls at TikTok. People make calls on their YouTube channels, on Instagram, everything. It's awesome. DeMarco, hey, Brent, how do you feel about click to call, leave voicemail, and then text to each owner instead of cold calling on a 3? Love it. Love it. 100%. Right? But what I will say is this. If you're going to be leaving voicemails, I mean, I will say this just as protection for everything. I would only call the ones that are on the do not call list. And I know that nobody does that, but there's more and more and more lawsuits coming out against real estate investors, real estate agents. NAR opened this thing wide open for all these young litigators to throw class action lawsuits at anybody. And there's people now that are selling courses on how to sue solicitors. So if you're calling somebody on the do not call and you're leaving a voicemail and you're telling them all the information about you and your business and everything, you're putting yourself at risk. So on the ones that aren't on the do not call, leave a voicemail, call them up. And listen to this. This is the craziest thing. Also, I forgot about this. Listen to this, Luke. Deal Machine has an AI that you record your voice. They will customize it to be your voice, leaving specific voicemails to the person and or the address. No. So if you're like, hi, this is Brent Daniels with Joe Homebuyer. I know that this is out of the blue, but I was calling about your home on 1212 Banana Street. I didn't even say that. It's literally an AI voice recording inside a Deal Machine so that you don't have to leave voicemails all the time. I'm just saying they're going to put everybody out of business. They're crazy. They're crazy, dude. They're so far above. Hey, Brent, I'm using Jerry's 8-page purchase sale agreement with addendums. Some people like RJ Bates use 2-pagers. What do you use? And is that something you share? We had it. Yeah, Tyson, we had it on, unfortunately, we had this wonderful academy on wholesalinginc.com, and I'm trying to get it so that people can get access to it again. But every time we do, overseas hackers go bananas. I don't know what it is. I don't know why we're targeted. So they kept shutting it down. We use like a 3-pager unless we're working with a real estate agent, and then we use a bigger one. I think it's probably, this is my opinion. I'm certainly not an attorney. We had an attorney draw it up. Sean St. Clair is phenomenal. It's 3 pages. And we haven't had any problems with it, but the more that you can disclose, the more that's in there, the better. I think would be the response that any attorney would give you, just because there's just more understanding of what the agreement is, more outlined. But we're pretty clean with our 3-pager and like it. Yeah. But listen, Jerry's phenomenal. I mean, Jerry's putting it out for a reason. Jerry gives that out to a lot of people. So he's probably gotten counsel to put more things in there as more disclosure is necessary in different states. So 3-parter. Guys, thank you so much for participating. I was like, well, you know what? Let's go live. You know, we don't have to bring on a lot of guests. We'll just answer questions if anybody's there. And if they show up, they show up. If not, they don't. So this is really fun. And I really love this. So best list filters. Yeah. So listen, we want to find people that have personal problems with their properties, right? So the eyeball is the best filter. When you see an ugly house, go for it, right? Like don't overthink it. Length of ownership is really strong as well. I get a lot of comps because I underwrite the deals in the Rhino Tribe in the mentorship and coaching program. And a lot of the deals that get sent to me on a daily basis are were bought from 2021 on. And I'm like, listen, they bought it at the height of the market. 2021 was the height of the market. Have we appreciated a little bit? Sure. But when I look at it, it's just not enough. You know what I mean? So you want it to be, you want the ownership to be ideally 10 years. 7 years is a good threshold as well. I like going after older properties because they have the biggest spreads. They have the most wear and tear on them. They require more investment into them. So I like properties that are at least 30 years old. UC Money TV. And so that's what I would, those are the filters that I would look at. And then any form of distress, whether it be pre-foreclosure, tax default, probate, inherited, any of those. Best way to get the best buyers to maximize your wholesale fee. That is awesome. Let me tell you what I did. And this is, I think it's an awesome strategy. Actually, I didn't do this. I don't take credit for this because Billy Bell, my old disposition manager, did it. But I introduced him to everybody. So whatever. One hand washes the other. Is that even a saying? I think it is. Anyway, so we had a list of like 100 buyers, and you could get 100 buyers, no problem. You could go into all the Facebook groups. You can go into LinkedIn. I like going into LinkedIn and putting in real estate investor into LinkedIn in my area. That's very kind of under the radar. Get the ones on LinkedIn. If they have a LinkedIn page and they say they're a real estate investor, that's like 7 steps higher than just somebody that's like, yeah, I just watched a YouTube video or something, right? So I like getting them on LinkedIn. I like going if you go into Zillow and you look at all of the flipped properties, and you know the flipped properties because they're staged. There's not clothes in the closets. There's not a lot of toothbrushes out or any of that, right? You know that the ones that are staged and flipped. And call up all those real estate agents and give them a compliment about the property. I love what you did with the cabinets. I love the flooring. I love the handsome countertops. I love the textured wall that you did, whatever, right? You give some sort of love to them and then say, hey, what else are you guys looking for? I'm running across, I'm calling people all day long. I'm talking to property owners off market all day long. What are you looking for? That's a great way to build it. And then you get to 100 UC money. And then you start going to meetups and you start connecting with people and you start joining all of these real estate investing groups in your market. And you find somebody that you connect with. You go and you say, what's up, Derek? You seem awesome. What's up, Brian? You seem awesome. What's up, Marquise? You're awesome. Why don't I have 100 cash buyers. Why don't you give me your cash buyer database? I'll give you my cash buyer database. And now I have 200. Now I go to somebody that has 200. And this is exactly what Billy did. We traded our list for their list. I don't care if somebody has our list. There's nobody magic on my list. And we just traded up, and then we got to 5,000, and it was bananas. Absolutely bananas. How do you verify? Great question. Look at this. Share screen. Considering you get all of your skip tracing for free, you go here and you go to, let's just go to leads. This is Deal Machine. Look, it's right here. Literally tells you. The ones that are shaded are on the DNC. DNC, see? DNC, 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 all these, DNC. Well, there's not that many. Great. Email them. You get their emails. DM them. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. It's it'll keep your systems really tight. But yeah, it's right in there. Deal Machine does the work for you. Let's get back in here. Josh Jarvis, if you were just getting started in wholesaling with a small budget, what would be your go-to list to target? Driving for dollars. Driving for dollars. That is the list. That was my list. I did my first 20 deals, Josh, from Driving for Dollars. I did. Well, this is me. If you were to ask Jamil Damji, my good friend Jamil Damji, he would say real estate agents. You know what I mean? So I think number one is what path are you going to go down? Are you going to go direct to seller? Or are you going agent? Are you going to go, I'm going to match up wholesalers with these cash buyers that have already found the deals, which is a very strong strategy, very strong. Or are you going to go direct to seller? So you have to make that decision early on, because I feel like if you go down both paths, it's not going to work. You can only go so far on both paths, right? The paths are kind of together for a little bit, but then they diverge. And so, yeah. But I know, listen, we have a few guys here in town. There's probably 200 companies in Phoenix that all they do is try to dispo other people's dispo. Listen to this. This is what's wild. When we send out a deal, we just got back on Investor Lift. Robert showed me some of the incredible stuff that they have. So I was like, okay, we got to go Investor Lift. And so we got back on Investor Lift, and we found out when Jeremy, my disposition manager, would blast out the properties. People were putting our properties on Investor Lift, and you can only put the address on there once. And so we were like, guys, you can't put our properties. We now have Investor Lift. We're going to put our own property. So people were taking ours and dispo on. They didn't get permission. They were just getting on our list and sending it out. So it is a good strategy. If you want to match that up, great. That's one strategy. The other strategy is direct to seller. So if you're going direct to seller, the answer is driving for dollars. The second answer is a U.S. lead list. U.S. lead list. It's not cheap. But it is powerful, and it's a list nobody else has. Cool. Yeah. If I set up my business structure now, will I need to pay for the costs all over again come January 1st? My issue is I don't want to pay twice within 6 months, and I don't want to have to wait until January to close deals just to save money. I don't know about starting over. I mean, I guess it depends on what state you're at, but I think you can incorporate in whatever state you want to. But I don't know what starting over is. I mean, you get an EIN number, which is your tax ID. You open up your bank account. So just get it set up and rock and roll, bro. Sooner than later. Yeah. We can try 2 comps, I guess. I mean, yeah, let's take a look. Okay, we got comps, and that's what we got left. Awesome. Guys, if you have any questions in the meantime, put in the chat. Okay, we got Knoxville. Zay, how much do they want? Okay, well, I don't know what's going on with my flip finder here. It is not doing anything. Yeah. Okay, I guess I could put in the address. What's the address? Will somebody tell me? Oh, it's right here. Boom. Okay, got it. Zay, great job. Thank you for putting all this information. Alejandro's yelling it at me from in the what would you call that room? Dungeon. The booth? Yeah. Production booth. That's sexy. Yeah. I like that. Production booth. Okay, so I'm looking at this thing. I want to look at some pictures. It's a for sale by owner. It's on the market. It's on the market. It's been on the market 14 days. What was there? 165. Yeah, you got a cash buyer 165. Awesome. Has he talked to the owner? Do we know that? Yes. He's talked to the owner. What's the bottom line? 165. The bottom line for the seller, though. How much is the seller? What's the bottom line of the seller? 185 is the bottom line for the seller. They got it on at 199,999. I mean, listen, they've been on 14 days. They're trying to sell it themselves. This is fantastic. This is going to be one of those that you throw out a number, you stick to your number, you get it, and you stay in front of them all the time. If you got a buyer at 165, you already know the answer to it. Remember, comping doesn't matter if there's not a ready, willing, and able buyer. So if you got somebody at 165, what if you win at 155? I'd like it at 145. That's fantastic, say. Stick to your guns. But can you tell the story to them? Can you tell the story to them that, to be able to buy this and make a profit, we're going to have to be at 145,000 on this. And if he doesn't have any other offers, what are they going to do with it? If you can't get 185, this is the question you have to ask. If you can't get 185, what's your plans with the property? Right? What's the plan? What's your plans with the property? If you can't get 185, what are you going to do? Because I can make this happen today. We can close in 2 weeks at 145. Awesome job, Jay. Zay, I think you can get them down. I think you can absolutely get them down. I mean, listen, and this goes back. This is interesting. Let me take a look at this. So the Zestimate, look at this, guys. Look at this. Okay. Zestimate on this is 256. Oh, 236 to 277. All right. Let's say that it is 277. Let's say totally redone. This thing gets 277. It's the upper end of the estimate range. All right. Sorry, I'm not even sharing this. You guys got to make sure I'm sharing stuff. Here we go. Yeah, thanks. Right. No. Sorry. So the estimate range is here. So I look at this thing, and you're looking at the estimate range, 256. Great. What's 50% of 256? 128. 128, right? We just go off of the chart that we use, 50%. If it's over 250, 50%. Easy peasy. Done. Now we've got some wiggle room. Now you got a buyer at 165, bro. Let's go. Let's say that it's a 277. 277 sounds almost like 280. 50% of that is 140. You're at 145. It's amazing how that little chart works. You could play around with it. You could go 60%. It used to be in the heyday in 2021, we were going 66% of Zillow price is what we could sell the deal to our, or what we could offer the seller. So it's pretty close. It's going to be lower. I want it to be lower. I want you to smack him between the eyes. I want you to get close. But you're right there. I think you can get this deal. I love it. Get that thing locked up. And listen, if they don't have any offers being on Zillow for 2 weeks, how long are they going to wait? How long are they going to wait? If 185 is the absolute best, then I want you to hit them with this, say. If I can only get, if I can get you 185, but it's going to have to be in payments. Are you open to payments on it? What does that mean? Woo, here we go. Means you become the bank. I buy the property from you, but you become the bank. And then you get into all sorts of different things. You could talk about wrapping it. You could talk about if they own it free and clear, them truly being the bank on it. But just see if that's open. You might be able to flip this to a creative. Remember, if they don't give you a wholesale price, see if they'll give you wholesale terms. And that's the rule of 5, 10, 50. Let me hit that up real quick. If I have a little bit of room here. And this is just for home run deals for seller finance. 5, 10, 50. 5 is 5% down or less. Down payment or less. 0% is the best. 0 down is the best, right? Not putting anything in, but you want to be 5% or less. You want it to be 10 years or more for the balloon. A balloon means this is just when it's due, right? So you make payments for 120. I'm not going to do 120 marks here, but you get it 120 months, and then you have to pay the rest off. But you need a long enough time, especially right now with interest rates being what it is, for it to season, for you to do debt pay down, and for it to appreciate, to make sure that you can give them the price that makes sense with a 10-year balloon. And this is 50% of rental rate for the monthly payment. Well, they want 8% interest on it. Great. You can only afford 50% of the rental rate. If the rental rate's $1,500, you can give them $750 a month. And they go, well, I want interest. Yeah, you're getting interest here. Well, what does that mean? Well, you take what the loan amount is and you amortize it. Look it up. Amortize it over how many years it is to get a payment of $750. It could be 100 years. It could be 60 years. It could be 40 years. If they want that interest, great. You can give them the interest, but the payment remains the same. 5, 10, 50. If you have questions, let me know. Awesome. Huron. All right, let's take a look at Huron. we've got 5520 Huron. Do we have any other data points on this?
He hired a cold caller.
Oh boy.
Only has the info they gave him. This is for his first deal.
Okay. So we're looking at, this is for your first deal. Okay. 5520. Give me it again, Huron. Cleveland, Ohio. Beautiful. In here it shows retail 171. Let me share the screen. Boom. Share. Say that again. Look at this, guys. Owned for 26 years. Absolutely incredible. Willing to sell upon agreement, no asking price, and it's a pre-foreclosure. How is he in pre-foreclosure? He's owned it 26 years. He must have suckled out that equity. That's incredible. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Credit line. Boom. Revolving. Credit line. Credit line. People love using their home as a piggy bank. It's wild. Happens all the time. And we don't know what they want. Did they want a cash offer though? Okay. Got it. Yeah. So number one, let me stop sharing the screen right here. Make sure that your VA or anybody that's making the calls for you is getting the 4 pillars: condition, timeline, motivation, price. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. All right. That's fundamental. Everybody's VA, yourself, your team, everybody needs to know these 4 pillars. It's absolutely critical. I like how you did the true Roman pillars, Matt. You know, those are fancy. You know, I've been learning more about pillars. Yeah, in my investigations with Graham Hancock's rabbit hole that I've been going down. Anyway, so the 4 pillars are pre-qualifying, so make sure that you get those. Huron has Zestimate at 156 to throw out 35% of it. So what's 35% of 156? Let me see. 156 times 0.35, because you don't have the information. So you want to be about 54,000 on this. If you get more information and know what they are, then you can sharpen your pencils with more of the comparables, which you can do right here. Let me share this. Sorry, guys. Comps, share, boom. Makes it super easy in Flip Finder to just do the comps here. And then remember with the comps, you want to stay in the area as much as possible. Looks like you got a 200 comp here, which is nice. This is interesting. Right across the street, so very similar. So maybe you go 70,000 because this one just sold very similar. Let's see. It is 1,500 square feet. It is 4-bed, 1.25 bath. And Huron is, oh no, yours is smaller. Yours is 864 square feet, so much smaller. So that one went for 200. Look at these ones, 27.5. This is the one I like. 27,500. Boom. You got a 209, 160, 195. You can tighten up these parameters here, and get a little bit. Oh my gosh, this thing is driving me crazy. It drives me crazy. There you go. Anyway, I would just go with the 35% of the Zillow, and until you get more information. Boom. What else we got? Anything else?
Yeah, so going back to that guy's question about the year thing, he re-explained it.
Ian, my question is, will I need to pay for a new business structure all over again when the new tax year starts? No. Like I need to pay for it twice within 6 months because of the new tax year. Hopefully that makes sense. I've never heard of that. I have no idea. Talk to a CPA. Go find a CPA group in Facebook and start posting questions. I've never done that. I just thought of that, but that might be insane. Anyway, Brent introduced me to Deal Machine about 4 years ago and challenged me to go after bigger deals by driving for dollars in neighborhoods with higher ARV. So I did and landed a $77K assignment. Love Deal Machine. What Brian's not telling you is he just closed a deal for like $150,000 in Detroit. Is he in Detroit? I think he's in Detroit. Brian, are you in Detroit? Forgive me for not remembering, but I believe. And that was a TV one. So outbound, inbound, outbound, inbound. Here we go. Awesome. Boom. What else we got? Door knocking, Tyson, door knocking is not my favorite. If I jumped in my car right after this live to drive my island to look for ugly houses in a certain neighborhood, should I call them when I get back home to my desk? No. Challenge yourself. Call them right there. Call them right there and dare them to ask the question, have you even seen my house? To which you respond, I'm in front of it. Right? Yeah, right. Yeah. That would be terrifying. No, but yeah, listen, this is a great point, Tyson. I'm so glad you brought that up. Such a great point. I remember when I was first door knocking and I would get like the owner's information from like a tenant or something. I'd wait till I went home, got the information, call them. And I'd always have to pump myself up. I'd always have to get ready. You get 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, press the button. I mean, literally, I've been telling Deal Machine that they need to just have it so that you can call right away. And they've had it for a while from the app. But the shorter the distance between you getting the information, you taking action, the better. So press go. Boom. Call them. Boop. 90% of the time, they're not going to answer. 93%. If you get a 7 to 10% contact rate, you're doing phenomenal. So, go for it. You're going to have to usually call them a couple times to get a hold of them. On the 50-10-50, I'm looking at this to buy a personal property. Awesome. How do you determine the asking price to calculate the terms? I don't care about the purchase price. I mean, if in 10 years the purchase price is too crazy, sure. But what if they're just the bank for a long time? What if you just set it up to where you got 30 years to pay this thing, pay it off, but your terms are really, really, really strong? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't go more than 10 or 20% above what Zillow's telling you it's worth. If you can go at what Zillow's telling you it's worth, great. I mean, guys, obviously we sharpen our pencils when we do our comps. We get into the nitty gritty. We look at the actual sales in the neighborhood. We actually look at pendings more than sales. Pending, the properties that are actually under contract, shows what is selling right now, not what sold in the past, which is really powerful. So I'm kind of going willy-nilly on these things with Zillow and a little bit here with Flip Finder, just because I think we just need kind of rough numbers, and then we can sharpen our pencils when we're close. When you're 20, 30,000, 40,000 within their price range, then you can really find the best comps in that subdivision. Matt, will you also upload the rules for comping? Because but Jamil and myself both comp very fast just using Zillow. You can look at all the close properties in there. You can just get out of the actual property details in Zillow and look at what's going on in that neighborhood and get a really good idea. Yep. All right. One last comp, and that's all the questions we have. Awesome. So we've got, oops, sorry. Let me get in here. The address is 402 College Street. College Street. Where is Trinidad? That's wild. We're going to find out. Present, share screen. Boom. Okay. Trinidad is, looks, gosh, dang. Yeah, well, Flip Finder has it at 48,000. Let's see what Zestimate has it at 149. 149. Okay, so you got some solds in the area. Similar. Remember, with one baths, you can only Matt, can you switch it to the oh, I gotta do this. Let me switch this out to present. It's probably easier ways to do this, but I am busy doing deals, not figuring this out. Actually, my team is, let's be honest. So remember, with one bath, you want to always comp with one bath. Don't comp with two baths. It just doesn't make sense. It's a totally different buyer, totally different investor. And so you've got some decent properties here that have sold similar area. I like looking at this map here. Zooming in here in this map, there's nothing real close, but 2 and 3 seem pretty similar. And that's 134 and 190. This looks like it's just dated, and it looks like it used to be like some sort of weird. Yeah, this is weird. And so I would go 180. I would go 35% of 180. Seems to be the right price on that. So that is 35% of 180 times 0.35. You got to get them down. They want double what you can give them. You want to be around 60. Got it?
Okay, last question. Sorry.
Around 60. Would you recommend becoming a realtor just to get into and around people in the business? Feel like I need some kind of kick in the ass. Haven't been able or willing to do the work. Yeah, that's not going to give you the kick. But I understand being around it. I think you got to find, I would go to meetup.com for sure and start going to the RIA meetings. I would start going to meetups. I would start connecting with people. I would let everybody in here, Adams Investment Properties, know who you are and where you live, and see if you can start connecting that way. You got to be surrounded by people doing this business. That's going to be much more important than, like, brokerages don't get together. They do like monthly things, but it's weird. Most of them don't do it. It's not like you go into an office every day and there's a bunch of realtors there being like, hey, look at us. It's like boiler room. We're making calls and doing proactive things. It's not. That's never happened in the 20 years that I've been in this business and had my license hung. Everybody's working from home. Everybody's remote. Some people go into the office, but for the most part, it's just to escape their family. You know what I mean? And so, not in a bad way, just in a, they won't let me do work or whatever. So, or connect with the mentorship. You know, we welcome you with open arms into the Rhino Tribe. You can go to wholesalinginc.com, apply, and then get on a call with us. Our guys are absolutely phenomenal. And they can walk you through exactly what we have, but our community is phenomenal. I mean, we do 40 hours of support calls a week. We have live lead calls, 60 hours a week, Andra? 80 hours a week. It's bananas. I mean, listen, the people, nobody makes more than the people in the Rhino Tribe. Nobody. It's not even close. We've been doing it for Tom started in 2013, 11 years now. Not tooting your own horn, but we're the most proactive. We're just the best. We're the strongest group of people really doing the work. And I'm very, very, very proud of that. But yeah, we do the most deals, the biggest deals, just 2. Not the biggest mentorship, but we've got the strongest for sure. So if that sounds like you and you need that kick in the pants, come on over. But to answer your question, I do think you should get a license. I think everybody should get their license. I think right now you can get a license online. You take a couple tests and you're done. I'm not a great test taker. Great. Fail it a few times. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? You're going to prevent yourself from making way more money because now you can refer business to other people that are full-time realtors and get a referral fee. Our referral fee is 50%, 50%. So all the leads that want retail, refer it to Stacy. She crushes it, closes them. We get 50%. She does a tremendous amount of deals every year. And so you can't get referral fees legally without a license. Also, you get access to the MLS, which is a huge, huge, huge tool to be able to use. And you can bring legitimacy sometimes to your business if they want to know that. But it really hasn't come up in the I don't know, 12 or 1,500 or so deals that I've done. It really doesn't come up. They just want cash offers. They just want you to be the buyer. But I think it's smart to take that extra step. I think it'll anchor you into this business a little bit more. And I think at some point, more and more states are going to require licenses. And so might as well get ahead of it. Here's the 7 steps to comping, guys. Location, make sure you go neighborhood first, half mile, then mile in location. Timeline, 3 months is ideal. 6 months if you have to. 1 year if you really have to, if you're really rural. Age of the house should be plus or minus 15 years. Size should be plus or minus 1,500 from a square footage standpoint. And floor plan, you got to match up the floor plans. 1-story, 2-story, single family, multifamily, townhouse, condo, and land. You can only comp them with each other. Don't comp a 1-story with a 2-story. Don't comp multifamily with residential. Don't comp commercial with land. I mean, unless it's commercial land and commercial land. Condition, how much will it take to rehab? And then potential. What will it sell for when it is beautiful? Cool. Awesome.
Okay, 2 more about land quick.
2 more questions about land. Perfect. Moise, I offered to sell her $20K for a quarter acre. Then I said, how do you feel? And she said, I feel very angry. What next I need to say? Great. Move on. What are they angry about? What's their expectations? How much do they want? Listen, if you're angry about people, if you're concerned about people getting angry about your offers, welcome to real estate. You know what I mean? This part of the business. And so you need to be able to pull out their bottom line. If that doesn't align, remember, we can't tell people what they should sell their house for. We can only tell them what we are willing to buy it for. You told them what you're willing to buy it for. They were offended. Okay, well, tell me more about that. Why did that offend you? Okay. How do you comp land if there's no address? 10% of the assessed tax value. Tax assessor goes, this land's $4,563. Great. Offer 10%. $400. 10% of the tax assessed value. If it's rural, if it doesn't have an address, if it's in the middle of nowhere, 10% of a tax assessed value. It's all in there. Cool. Awesome. Great show, guys. Bring it on in. Guys, bring it on in. Bring it in. Guys, have a great 4th of July. Celebrate it. Eat too much. Hug too long. Love too much. Boom. America. There you go. So it's the holiday for entrepreneurs. But on behalf of Matt, Alejandra, Luke, myself, remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, increase your value to the world. You'll live an incredible life. Have a great holiday. I love you guys. I'm in Hawaii next week, but we'll be back the week after with an incredible show. So make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it with your friends. Love you guys. See you soon.